Hello everyone, this is Ross with Market Traders Daily, and this is today's video analysis for April 22nd, 2020. Today we're looking at the AUDUSD, the Australian versus the US dollar for today's trade analysis. Looking here on this view, we're looking at two different charts. Left-hand side is the AUDUSD. The right-hand side is actually the dollar futures index. I really wanted to look at that one because of the trend phases that we've been in over the past couple of weeks. We can see more of a contracting pattern on the right hand side. And really, I'm looking at the two red trend lines. We have higher lows at the bottom red trend line and lower highs at the top red trend line. We could see the market's been kind of consolidating, contracting between those two red lines. So we had the first blue trend line rising, black trend line, blue trend line, and now we can see the market finding some resistance near the top of that triangle pattern or contracting pattern and starting to show a little bit of a weakness and rolling over to the bear side. If that's true, and if we see continued push lower, our target would be all the way down here towards the 99.2030 level, the bottom red trend line, and that would be a significant push lower for the dollar, which would lead pairs like the euro dollar and the Australian dollar and the pound dollar likely to go higher if the dollar were to make that kind of fall. So that's the kind of premise that I'm going to be working with today as it finds resistance at the top of this contracting triangle style pattern. Of course, the risk is it doesn't do that, breaks above there and goes higher. So we need to be aware of the risk and use appropriate risk strategies. But right now, it looks like it's going into a more selling phase of this contracting pattern. We're under the blue trend line and starting to move lower. A push through the 100.0 level, likely going to see the dollar move a little bit lower. So in that case, we take it over here to the AUD-USD on the left, and we can see, we don't see the same contracting pattern, but we see a trend pattern that may be developing here. The blue trend line clearly a rising trend. Whether or not you want to include that low wick down there or not, you could put it here like this as well. But either way you look at it, I think you're looking at a more of an uptrend than a downtrend here for the Australian dollar. With that being said, we also see somewhat of a pattern here. If I take a little bit of a black trend line and put it right here in the middle of the trend, it took a little bit of a bearish phase and then suddenly turned higher again. And we've seen that in the past week or so, haven't we, where we've gone into a new bearish phase. And so if I move this blue trend line out here like this, now that begins to give us a certain idea that if it breaks resistance, we could be looking for the continuation of the uptrend. So if we combined our efforts here and look at the fact that the dollar is at the top of the contracting pattern triangle and looks to be moving more into a selling phase, that would lead the Australian dollar higher. So we begin looking for breakout or dips into support, but breakouts of resistance for the Australian dollar. So very interesting phase that we're moving in today for the Australian dollar. Let's go ahead and zoom it down to the 4-hour time frame, and you can see those little downtrends here that we just looked at, and there's the black trend lines that we just looked at. And today we can see the market challenging this yellow shaded area. And I do want to point this out. The last time we were coming up underneath, or the first time I guess, coming up underneath that yellow zone, we got above it right here where the blue circle is and made that new high all the way back to the blue zone. Not only there, we can see right here above the yellow zone, making it up to at least the pink zone. So again, what I'm looking for is for it to stay above that 0.632035 level, and if it can, then the expectation is the pink zone at least going to the pink zone 63.85, 64, or maybe even the blue zone or higher on a return to the uptrend for the Australian dollar. That makes the most sense to me. Of course, the risk is right now that it turns back around and goes back down, challenging the orange zone as our last support. And you can see that last two times hitting that orange zone. And of course, a break of that orange zone, likely looking for the return to the downtrend, because then it's back down underneath all of that. So this is what I'm looking at today. I'm looking for at least a push to the pink zone, looking for buying efforts above 63.2035. Not in it yet. I'm waiting for some more clear breakout. You know, one thing I do want to be sure I don't fall prey to is a false breakout, and that's somewhat like what happened right here. And I'll make this circle a little different color. Let's make that one black there. You can see the market got above black circle just for a 4-hour period, then turn around and went back down to the orange zone. So I don't want to fall prey to that. So I'm waiting for a little bit more of a stronger effort of the buyers to stay within or above this yellow zone, targeting the pink zone today for the Australian dollar.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.